These boots have seen everything. I need a quick word.
Glick. Someone... The parasite has taken root, it would seem. Every word,
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable.
Did you have any strange dreams of late? Vivid ones? Damn. I was hoping my imagination had gotten the better of me. But this must be something more. This dream companion wanted me to use the tadpole, use its power. Whoever it was claimed to be an ally, but I don't know. It seems like we can't escape this mess. In the waking world or otherwise. I was. He mentioned Dark Justiciars, and we've come across other signs of a Sharan presence during our travels. I'm not sure I can dismiss that as a coincidence. Quite the understatement, but yes, I have it. And I'll guard it with my life. I was part of a group sent by my cloister. We were to take the artifact from the Githyanki and bring it to Baldur's Gate, no matter the cost. Though it turned out the cost was very steep. I was the only one of the group to survive. I took the artifact and fled, only to be ensnared by mind flayers before I could finish the mission. That's all I know. That's all I need to know.
I had a dream last night. A vivid one. And so did you, judging from the way my tadpole is tingling. Someone came to me and promised to protect me while claiming that the parasite could empower me. Tempting as these powers sound, we should recognize this dream for what it is, the tadpole's little trick. No good ever came from trusting honey-tongued strangers conjured up by illithid worms. I wouldn't advise it. Play with fire, and you get burned. That's always the way of it.
Yes?
Why do you insist on exhuming the past? I was a slave. A vampire spawn. Kept by the Tsar family. Perhaps I still am. I was never able to resist their commands. But now, I've been conveniently lost. They won't ever control me again.
The Blade of Frontiers at your calling. He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
Tiny grooves spider across the ice surface. It resembles a sending stone used to confer with distant contacts.
A sending stone? Nothing so special, I assure you.
You watch and listen for signs of deceit, but sense nothing unusual.
My father once said, "One does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call." So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. Proud? No. Angry. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at the so-called good gods for tolerating the cruelty of the evil. Angry at myself that it took so long for me to see the coast suffering. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded. And it's nice to meet someone of your talents. Having a worm wriggling in my skull didn't instill much confidence in the days ahead. With you as my ally, the future looks a little less daunting.
What's next, I wonder?
All right. What now? Always makes my day better.
May the darkness protect you. I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely.
Perhaps there's potential in you. Let's see how you handle this. I am indeed a disciple of Shah, Mistress of the Night and Lady of Loss. I assume you've heard of her? My Lady Shah is the Night Singer, the patron of darkness and loss. Most fear the dark, like children, because in darkness they see their fears reflected. But Shah teaches us to step beyond fear, beyond loss. In darkness, we do not hide. We act. Pain, hope, the promise of better days. All of these are heavy cloaks that bend our backs and burden our hearts. We shed those cloaks. Before Shah, we stand gloriously naked, beyond the vanities of mortals. There's comfort, yes. But often there has to be pain beforehand. We tear down the lies the world is drunk on. The institutions they trust, the so-called gods they worship, the lives they cling to. We destroy false idols, topple corrupt organizations, fight heretics wherever they're found. There's often suffering, death even. Many people break before they embrace Shah's truths. Curious. Most are afraid of my lady. I think I did well by joining you. Most agreeable company. What's next?
I promised I'd be back. Don't worry. I have things under control. For now. You haven't been using the parasite's power. You think you don't need it. But things haven't gone as you expected. You hoped a druid as powerful as Halsin might be able to remove your tadpole. But he couldn't. You're desperate to be rid of it. Understandable. But you're looking for solutions in the wrong places. Your parasite is unusual. It is wrapped in magic that prevents its removal. Until the source of the tadpole's magic is destroyed, any attempt to remove it will kill you. You were lucky that Halsin knew this. His instincts are right. The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. I am not sure yet. To find the answers, we must first find the source. These parasites are more than illithid spawn. They are vessels for control. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god. That is how the cult of the Absolute is spreading. The highest of their rank are called true souls. They carry a tadpole just like yours. It is how they receive their orders. It is what makes them obey. When the order to transform is given, it will not be a matter of days. They will be mind flayers in an instant. Were it not for my protection, so would you. It's complicated, but I'm an adventurer, just like you. Just like you, I was infected with a mind flayer parasite. Just like you, I seek to be free of it. I've been trying to escape from this evil for a long time. Once, I almost succeeded. Now, through you, I've been given a new chance. You can go where I cannot, and I can protect you from that evil. If we work together, we may turn this around. Hells, they need me. I have to go. The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back. I will hold them off for as long as I can, but sooner or later I will be worn down. You must discover the source of the magic that controls the parasites before that happens. The cultists are gathering at Moonrise Towers. Use the powers your parasite gives you to convince them you are one of them. And when you find the source of their magic, destroy it. Go. Our freedom depends on it.
I will be heard.
Looking ahead. At the ready.
Ah, my good fellow. My research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable. It's not too deep, just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all. I assure you, I've dreamt of it 1,000 times over. You won't find a more learned opinion on this matter, I assure you. You only have a matter of days to live. Don't dally, my friend.
I'll give it a shot.
book is locked tight with no visible keyhole, only an oval recess in the cover's mouth. You try to examine the book, but the longer you stare, the more those piercing amethyst eyes beneath the allure you feel.
Curious. Why don't you take a closer look? I'll observe from back here.
That looks terribly heavy.
What am I to do?
What are they delaying for? Can't we just swarm the forest?
Trout wants to know exactly where those adventurers came from. What are they doing? Hiding in trees? We'll smoke 'em out, no problem.
What's in here?
Faith is obedience. Follow my teachings. Follow Ragslin's orders. Obey the drow. Serve the Absolute, and you may be chosen.
Nobody's gonna push us around anymore.
Smells like burnt flesh in here.
Absolute's looking out. Here's somebody special. The Absolute has touched you, hasn't she? Priestess Gut needs to touch you too. Hold out your arm so I can mark your flesh. Let's the faithful recognize one another quick sharp. That way nobody'll mess with ya. And it's charged with magic. Ordinary slobs can't see it, only us that follow the Absolute. You ready? Brace yourself, this'll sting. Maybe you don't need it. After all, you're special, ain't ya? Like me.
She probes your mind, tangling your thoughts with hers. A familiar sensation. She too carries a power. Darkness seems to swallow the temple, leaving you with a vision of the goblin priestess receiving instruction from a handsome young man, one of the chosen. The vision dissolves away. You stand before the goblin priestess in the temple once again. Her faith floods into you, a tide of shuddering ecstasy. Her tadpole nestles within that mania, secure, hidden.
I feel you in there, digging around. Works both ways. And I saw some weird shadows swimming around in your head just now. Maybe I can help with that. Us true souls gotta look out for one another. Of course. Don't want this rabble interfering with true soul business. Let's go to my chapel.
Oi! Priestess!
Like
we
us.
want the mark!
Why do they think they're talking to a dog?
Ain't we good enough for the Absolute?
boy, come here. I ain't waiting around.
Let's see what this does.
Watch your back.
Pick a fight. The consequences are hardly surprising.
Nothing important is ever easy.
Stay focused. I will ascend.
There's an illicit parasite in that corpse. You should...
Strange power resonates within the corpse. It calls to you.
Follow your instincts. Don't be afraid.
Your limbs move of their own accord. There's something of value here, something your mind craves. Why let its host's memories go to waste? The tadpole has absorbed it all. Its experience could nourish you, strengthen you. Your muscles loosen. The tadpole breaks free of its deceased host. Your mind is your own again. For now.
You're not ready. It's all right.
Time for some bloody work.
wandered into a forbidden area. You sense it might be time to leave. Congratulations, you've convinced them to give you access. Now what?
Repositioning.
Still breathing, despite everything. This calls for careful footwork. Time to press ahead. On my way. That's curious.
Not a chance I'll fit in there. Not a chance I'll fit in there.
Keep your distance, darling.
That thing is small, and I am not.
I'm ready. Whatever it takes. I don't think I'll fit through there.
Oh, enough waiting. I crave blood. I'd have to be a lot smaller to squeeze in there.
One day I'll catch a break.
Some manner of device. But to what end?
Let's get on with it. Let's get this lock to yield.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times. Can't slow down. Better not be cursed.
Spend so long poking about down here? I'd much rather be outside, with the sun on my skin.
You've only just come to tolerate sun, and you're already... If you're going to complain the whole way, by all means, return topside. You could use the color. Best keep your hands to yourself. You're being watched.
Careful, I bite.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
You not supposed to be here. Leave!
Something's on my mind.
You!
Wonder if the gods are watching me. Softer than a whisper. Light on my feet. Don't want to draw any attention. Don't waste a step.
Trust no one.
No one's stopped me yet. Let's see. Light on my feet. Maybe I need more pockets. Can't give up now. lot on my mind and, well, in it. Never wanted the easy path. Something good here, I hope. To put my hands on everything.
Your sword! We want you dead, you dumb knuckle. Not dead and heroic. Get down there and stop complaining! Ah! Prisoner will talk, your ladyship. Spike always makes him talk.
If he doesn't, I'll cut out his tongue.
If he don't have a tongue, he can't tell us nothing.
The prisoner... Your scouting party has not returned, and half of the intruders escaped your guards.
Sorry, mistress. We mucked up.
Until their sanctuary is found, I will take something precious from you every hour that passes. A trinket, a tongue, a limb.
I ain't no use without my limbs. The lad'll make the prisoner squeal soon enough, I swear.
Silence now, creature, or I will silence you forever.
As she turns to you, her thoughts mingle with yours. A cold hand caressing your brain. The chamber melts away to reveal a dark, endless nowhere. In it, you see a vision. The drow listens as a pale-eyed young woman whispers in her ear. One of those the voice spoke of. One of the chosen. The vision fades away.
A true soul in such a grotesque form. The Absolute has a place in her heart even for Dathir. Her heart is more generous than mine. Join my hunt, fairy, and obey me. Worshippers of a false god. Their existence is an insult to the Absolute's claim on this region. There is a weapon the Absolute seeks. I'm sure those wretches have it hidden away there. We will find it amongst the dead and the ashes.
Her excitement is palpable. She lingers on thoughts of victory, of unbelievers' blood spilled, and of the weapon. She will seize it, in the Absolute's name. You feel Shadowheart's anxiety. The weapon the Absolute seeks, it's the artifact that she carries. The same one that protected you as you entered the goblin camp. Her mind focuses. The cultists cannot discover that the weapon they seek is within their grasp.
The thief, whimpering in our dungeon, tried to flee to their sanctuary. We will continue to remove parts of him until he tells us exactly where it is. He's been resilient, but he'll talk.
She is seeking the grove you visited. Already you feel her mind closing around yours.
Speak, true soul. The hunt must begin soon. Excellent. Be sure not to kill him before he talks.
Raiders are just waiting for the word, what this weapon
We're ready for
really
anything.
is.
And the prisoner?
We're still working on him.
Report, and make it quick. Organizing these creatures tests my patience. They are flocking to the Absolute. In sufficient numbers, they are an effective force. Expendable and willing.
Prisoner, I'll talk, your ladyship. If you're here to help with the raid, talk to her ladyship. She's in charge.
How many raiders do we have?
Heading to see our new pets? It didn't...
How'd you like that? Looks that way. But scouts said they heard something moving around out there. Bloody hell's what?
How many raiders?
Leave me alone!
Oi! That stays closed. The spiders aren't exactly tame.
thing to ask.
Poor lad. I could give you peace, you know. But no. You gotta keep silent, don't you? Where do they flee to, you stubborn rat?
Please, stop!
Here to see your friend, have ya? Come and join him if you like.
Say we'll take over. His work is sloppy. He'll kill the prisoner too quickly.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority. Your mind is full, bursting with ecstasy and terror. Finally, it is coming. You are becoming.
Sorry, sir. I didn't realize. He's all yours. Just don't be too rough, maybe. Moonrise Towers might still want to take him. I want to watch that weird priest next door. Shouted like he was beating something up. Oh, yeah, beating it good.
Please, please. Let me out. There's no reason for this.
The lock clicks and opens.
Thank you. I better go before they catch us. I should be able to make it to the Grove on my own. They need to know they're in danger. The Grove. To the east. They wanted to know where we came from. They'll kill everyone. Please, I need to warn them. I was with a group of adventurers. We came here for an artifact. It's called the Night Song. We tried to sneak past the goblins, but they ambushed us. I didn't think a pack of goblins could be so efficient. I don't know. The boss didn't say. He just said some wizard called Leroican would reward us if we found it. It should be here, somewhere. He said there was a hidden passage underneath the temple. The place was supposed to be abandoned, but when we arrived, I'm not sure. All I know is there's a passageway to the Night Song. Brian had instructions, but the goblins got him. They said they'd eat him. I have to go. I have to get out of here.
Might be useful.
Speak.
Greetings, child. I've met few aside from goblins here. Ah, are you also here to assist with the prisoner? Please. The things they do to that man? So crude and primitive. I was invited to teach them. I live for pain and its intricacies, you see. But, alas. Pain without purpose is a terrible thing. Wouldn't you agree? Exactly. Pain is an intimate thing. It should be delivered with a loving and measured hand. But trying to discuss such subtleties with these creatures is simply... Forgive me, but that look in your eyes, something terrible has happened to you. Because I see those same eyes when I look in the mirror, dear one. We've all suffered in these dark times. It is little wonder you bear scars of pain and anguish. Please, let me alleviate this pain. As the Maiden of Pain, the goddess Loviatar teaches us, through penance, administered by my skilled hand. My work can grant peace and serenity, the likes of which few experience. It will be worth it. I promise.
Go ahead. I'm sure you're in need of a little penance.
Is that a promise? A pity, though. You would have known such sweet relief at my hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should return to my own worship.
Plenty of room next to the piggy if you're lying.
How about I start following you, eh? How'd you like that? What are we waiting for? Spears are sharp. The lads are all riled up and ready.
You have already failed me once. And now you dare to question me.
I didn't mean nothing by it, your ladyship. Honest, I didn't.
Report, and make it quick. Organizing these creatures tests my patience. These creatures have failed me again. I will deal with those responsible later. Did he tell you where his friends are hiding before he fled? Perhaps. But your thoughts are troubled. Show me everything you have seen.
Her mind enters yours, a splinter of ice piercing your memories. Tiefling faces flicker into view as she attempts to learn the grove's location.
I see only fragments. Your mind is confused. Do what you must to clear it. The village
village to the east. It's abandoned.
Looks that way. But scouts said they heard something moving around out there. Something big.
It's not our concern. Our prey is elsewhere. Report, and make it quick. Organizing these creatures tests my... Then do as you were ordered. How many raiders do we have?
Plenty of lashes, loads of hunters, and a few pariahs to carry the powder kegs.
These pariahs...
Sugan al Shukok, o Taishokek Dos! I command you, corpse. Speak. Reveal truth to the Absolute!
By Vlaakith's blade, a geich.
Nothing. Must be reading it wrong. Sugan al Shukok!
The hobgoblin turns to you, and the parasite squirms in your skull. You taste the ale on his tongue and the bile in his soul. The visions cloud your inner eye for a brief moment once again. You see the hobgoblin bowing before the armored elf you'd glimpsed before. The elf speaks of the hunt for a great weapon and the rewards that will go to whoever finds it. The hobgoblin's eyes gleam hungrily.
If it isn't another true soul.
He doesn't speak his next words, yet they still rattle your skull from within.
You ever talk to a dead squid? Now's your chance. Guess you're a thick one, so I'll tell it straight. We're gonna make the carcass talk. Absolute says the dead squiddy had a weapon. I reckon the killer nabbed it and scooted off to that looter camp. We find who killed it, and we find who took that weapon. So settle in.
This Mind Flayer's build is smaller, its garb plainer. A fearsome creature even in death, but not the one that tormented you. Yet it too roamed the Nautiloid. It would have seen you, known you. Your skull sizzles with Ragslin's displeasure. His mouth is still, but you hear his demand.
I speak for the Absolute, and I say, you stay. I've got plans for you, boy. And there's no true soul yet who turned their back on the Absolute.
You choke on black smoke as the hobgoblin bellows his incantation.
I command you, corpse. Speak and say sooth. Lucan ok al koldek shulkok hank.
The hideous corpse rises, tentacles writhing. Your heart seizes. Under questioning, the creature might recognize you as its killer. Raxlin's mind reels, then calms. He will speak as you command. With Raxlin's voice, you ask.
Who is the Absolute?
Raxlin frowns in confusion at a question he would never have asked. Then the creature speaks in visions. Curved drow blades, crude goblin torches, gnoll teeth dripping blood. You see other mind flayers arranged in a serene circle. Absolute unity. Absolute power.
Damn it! That tells me nothing!
You feel Raxlin's suspicions. He'd never have asked about his master. You remain in control. Barely.
What were you doing in Faerun?
Again, visions flow through you. A swarm of Githyanki dragon riders, silver blades held high, control panels melting, flesh pods spilled open.
Githam-hunt. They know something.
Suspicion floods Raxlin's mind. Your brain howls as you force a final query into his throat.
Why were the Gith chasing that ship?
You see dark tunnels lit by noxious pools of brine. The darkness spreads through the earth. The sky splits open and nautiloids pour out of a void that consumes the stars.
What in the...
The corpse collapses, silent once more.
No, no! I'm not done! Riddles, all of it. And nothing to show for the trouble but rotting squid meat. No answers, no killer, and no damned weapon. That damned Thru was right. Can't let her get all that glory. Like I said, I got plans for you. Report to the Drow. Minthar is the name. She's mounting an attack on that blasted grove. Tell her you'll join her. Praise the Absolute. Their blood. Their cities will be what you needed now. The Absolute's got room for everyone, long as you don't defy her. And nobody's that stupid. If the Absolute says to take orders from a drow, then we toe the mark. No questions. You look spiffy to me. What do you need a healer for? Well, let me know when you find one. Priestess Gut's better at causing pain than curing it. Listen, the Absolute honors you and slays her enemies.
I wouldn't dawdle if I were you. I doubt true soul Minthara.
And streams will flow with their blood. Their cities will be razed to the ground. And they'll know she is absolute.
How about I start following you, eh? How'd you like that?
Have to keep going. That's a friendly-looking shadow. Should mind my step.
Then they're prepared to die for the Absolute. Good.
Dying's the only thing they're good. Leave me alone!
Don't waste a step.
The eye's glassy black surface reflects your gaze. You sense no reaction from the unblinking eye. The eye doesn't seem to notice your presence.
Yeah, your ladyship. Honest, I didn't.
Life, much like your words, is meaningless. Well, end the latter to save the former. Report, and make it quick. Organizing these creatures tests my patience. Tell me what you know. The Absolute will reward us with such power if we find this place. Fool! You have fallen for his lies. We know that area well. There is nothing hidden there. We will have to do this the hard way. Scour the area and hunt them down, then report back to me. The village to the east. It's abandoned.
Looks that way. But scouts said they heard something moving around out there. Something big.
It's not our concern. Our prey is elsewhere. I trust you have found the sanctuary. I hunger for battle. Tell me what you know. The Absolute will reward us with such power if we find this place. Fool! You have fallen for his lies. We will have to do this the hard way.
Raiders are just waiting for the word, mistress. We're ready for anything.
And the prisoner?
We're still working on him.
You look like you could kick no me, though. I'm hard as they come, and I'm itching for another fight. Ha! Could do with more like you in my next raiding mob. Keep your blade sharp.
The eye doesn't seem to notice your presence.
If you ain't helping, clear off.
How many raiders do we have?
Plenty of lashes. Loads of hunters. pariahs. The kegs.
These pariahs, they're prepared to fight for the Absolute.
What they do ain't exactly fighting. All they gotta do is light up their powder and burn.
Then they're prepared to die for the Absolute.
You carry a Githyanki relic. I will have an explanation. Or your head.
Walk away. Now. I won't warn you again.
That artifact is an heirloom of my people. Likely she spilled Githyanki blood in order to steal it. This cannot stand.
Heirloom? Plunder from some conquered realm, more like. This artifact is the only thing keeping us from becoming slaves to our parasites. Be glad I have it.
Remove yourself if you are so easily offended. This is not your concern.
Nonsense. You're just finally showing us what you really are. A reaver to the bone.
Spare your indignity. Every word that spills from your mouth is worth less than the last.
Lae'zel thinks I have something important to her people. She's deluded, clear.
Lies. She carries an heirloom of my people. I must know why. Incorrect. Judicious bloodletting settles feuds and roots out the weak, the deceitful.
Do you hear this, tribe? Our lives are at stake, and she wants us to turn on each other.
No others. Just you and me.
I doubt this one's wits will be any sharper by then.
I do not wish to spill blood here. Come daylight, we will find a place to end this.
Fine. You can accept you're wrong, or we'll be rid of you permanently. Either way, I win. You had every chance to look the other way. But here we are. You chose this.
Spare me the justifications, coward.
If anyone asks, I'll say you were transforming. Don't expect to be mourned. She's a liability. It's the artifact we need, not her.
Let me up, and I'll show you.
Can I do that, Lae'zel? Can I turn my back on you?
Never. Thieves aren't afforded such luxury.
Loosen the grip on your pride for one blasted moment, won't you? We needn't be enemies. There's plenty of those to go around already.
What would you have? That we be friends?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But imagine what we might achieve if we channeled some of that hostility back at our real foes, instead of each other. They wouldn't stand a chance.